Don't influence the action.
How did I influence any action? I buy in today for $280. I'm down a few dollars, and let's get right into it. Playing Omaha, I'm in the big blind and look down at 10 Jack 6-8. There is a raise to $20 with two callers, and this is a nice connected double suited hand, so I call, and a early position limper also calls. 5 ways to a flop that is Queen of Hearts, 8 of Hearts, Ace of Clubs. Very nice flop for my hand, but I check to see what develops. Early position checks, and the original raiser makes it $105. He quickly gets two calls. Now, with a pair and backdoor draws, plus an inside straight draw, and oh yeah, a straight flush draw. With this much in the pot, I have to see a turn card, so I call. Early position folds, and we are 4 ways to a turn that I wasn't expecting. The 9 of Hearts. We drill the straight flush. I want everyone in here, so I check again. The original raiser checks, sadly, and the cutoff now bets pot of $500. The button folds, and I put my last $138 in. It's back on the original raiser. He tanks for a while, but sadly he ends up folding. I advise my opponent, I have it, you know, the nut.
Yeah, I have the nut.
Almost.
The non-needed river is the 2 of diamonds, and I start this session with a bang, scooping this $800 pot. Oh yes, my opponent had the king high flush. Now let's take a second to enjoy winning big pots with straight flushes. Enough with the antics, back to the action. I raise ace 4 of clubs, no one calls, pick it up. Now in the big blind, again, I look down at queen 5 of clubs, and it limps around, so I check, and we go 5 ways to a flop. 3, 6, 9, damn you fine, with 2 clubs. The small blind now bets out $10. I call, and 2 other players call. 4 ways to a turn that is the 4 of diamonds. The pot's $55, and the small blind now bets $25. With the straight and flush draw and 1 over, you can argue raising here, and I do tend to raise a lot of my big draws, but I feel like you have to balance some of your big draws also, so I just go ahead and call here. The hijack folds, and now the button goes all in for $144. The small blind folds, now it's on me. I'm assuming small blind maybe had 1 pair, but the pot is $249 and it's $119 more to me. The price is pretty close. I only need about 30% equity, especially with 1 over to the board. But remember last week when I had kings in an Omaha hand and got raised on the river when the third 3 came out, and I said this specific player is never ever raising here with anything other than a 3. Well, this is the same exact player. He for sure has a straight or a set at bare minimum, meaning some of my outs are no good or chop outs. So I let this big draw go and I fold. And another player wanted to see the river, so the dealer put it up and it was a brick. We missed. It's such a good feeling making the right play and also being vindicated with the rabbit hunt. I'm a genius. Here I raise queen 9 of spades and get 1 call, then c-bet the flop and win. I raise pocket 8s pre and no one calls. Then I raise king 10 off in late position to $20. Check on the flop, draw heavy board, and then fold to his turn donk bet. Lose a few small pots and decide to call it a day, not much action. So I am in this session for $280, cash out for $725 for a profit of $425. Wasn't much action or a lot of hands in that session, so I combine it with another session that gets pretty interesting. I buy in for $270. The game is just starting up, it's not deep at all, only 5 players, and I make the 6th. I notice the poker room manager is sitting at the table, not something unheard of in Texas in smaller rooms to get the game going. I decide to test the table out, see how they want to play this morning, and raise it up to $10 with Jack 9 offsuit. I get 1 caller, who we will name the manager. Flop comes 8 deuce 3 with 2 diamonds. He checks, and I have air, so I c-bet $10. And he calls. The turn comes the 6 of hearts, and I'm all but done with this hand. He checks, and I check back. The river, however, is the Jack of Hearts. He decides to check again, and I bet $10 to ensure he calls, as I'm sure I have the best hand. He does. He mucks when I announce I have a pair of jacks. I've only been at this table for maybe 6 hands, less than 15 minutes, and this is the second hand I've played, a terrible Omaha hand of 10-3-9-9 where I limp, and we go 5 ways to a flop that is Jack 3-9 rainbow. Beautiful. The manager leads out betting $15. There is one call, and I decide to pot. Things start getting interesting when another player in the hand starts telling the dealer he is wrong about the size of the pot. They go back and forth, and the dealer is correct. It's $80. The manager calls his remaining stack of $35 and is all in. The third player thinks for a while, as the dealer had to explain to him the bet is $80. He decides to call. Now at this point, I'm not sure the third player even speaks English, as while we are in the hand, he is speaking to his friend in a language I've never heard of. The pot is right, and the turn comes a meaningless 2 of hearts. The opponent now checks to me, and I feel like he is on a draw. I only have 1 bet left with the pot size, and I'm not sure he will fold. He possibly could have just picked up more outs on the turn with the heart. I decide to play scared and safe and check back the turn, hoping for a safe river, which is the king of diamonds. That's not good, but my opponent's friend sounds very excited about it.
Bam! Oh!
I think that's very odd considering they were speaking in a different language the entire time, but our opponent now leads out for a pot of $260. His friend, once again, tries to correct the dealer and say the pot is only $230. This time, he is right, and then proceeds to tell the dealer,
You don't have to check. I fucking know and everything.
I believe you.
So the bet was 50.
Yeah.
We won 50. 60 the size. That's 210. Plus 20 pre-flop. 230.
This guy receives no warning, nothing said to him. This is a tough spot for me, but against an unknown, with the way the field plays Omaha here, he has it, so I fold. And here comes the weirdness. I'll let you guys watch and listen in. The dealer pushes him the side pot, saying, "You get this right here." And now the player throws his hand face down. I know he has a very strong hand, if not the nuts, so I speak up.
Get this right here. All right.
Well, you have to show, because he's in the pot. Am I wrong for doing this? I don't know. Yeah.
Just for future, please don't influence the action.
How did I influence any
You
action?
didn't have to show if you didn't want to at that point.
Right. You can't tell him to show his hand.
Just for future, okay?
Right.
Just for the future. In tournaments, it's a little different.
Okay,
If his
so
hand's
for
face up, you can read the hand, but if it's not,
at this point, I'm just a little perturbed and confused and frustrated. But if we're gonna go by all the rules, then was English only at the table? Because he was talking to him while we were in the hand in a different language. I mean, like if we're
I missed that one. I'm sorry.
cash me out. I'm cool. You guys have a good day. The player does show Queen 10, and I talked to a few people. I didn't influence any action. If anything, it's one player to a hand. But at that point, after he pots and takes a side pot and then mucks, and the poker room manager would have taken the main pot without having to show, I think that makes the situation even more weird. So I don't know. In conclusion, I ended up getting up out of there down about $45. I don't know if I was right or wrong. The situation, I just don't like weird, uncomfortable situations, especially when it comes to gambling. So I just went ahead and rolled out. And this is kind of part 1, because I immediately leave there and go to spades, and something weird happens the first hand I play there. And I'm like, what is going on with this day? But until next time, I'll see you guys. Keep watching, hit that subscribe button, and always run good. To the moon, baby.